I'm Nick the History Kid. I'm a young patriot who loves history. Today, I'm in Florida, and this is the history of the Florida Keys and the railroad that made it one of the best tourist locations in America. Florida Keys are a coral archipelago in the southeast United States. They begin at the southeastern tip of the Florida Peninsula, about 15 miles south of Miami. The Keys were originally inhabited by Native Americans. They were later found and charted by Ponce de Leon in 1530. They extended in a gentle arc southwest and then westward to Key West and onto the uninhabited dry Tortugas. With water this beautiful, no wonder people wanted to come to the Keys. The islands lie along the Florida Straits, dividing the Atlantic Ocean to the east and the Florida Bay, which eventually becomes the Gulf of Mexico, to the west. This was one of the longest bridges when it was built. A 2.2-mile section of the old bridge remains for access to Pigeon Key, which actually housed workers that built the railway. I'm now at Windley Key Fossil Reef Geological State Park, which was the site that supplied thousands of tons of fill for the Florida East Coast Railway's railbeds and bridge approaches. Windley Key is one of the highest in the chain of keys formed of Key Largo limestone over 125,000 years ago. Water levels rose and dropped as much as 300 feet over the centuries. About 5,000 years ago, the ocean stabilized and the coral reef crest that remained exposed created the islands we call the Florida Keys. This is a 5,000 to 10,000 year old fossil conch. Over here is an original Flagler Overseas Railroad trestle tie. Here is a model train that looks like the one that was used on the Overseas Railroad. Lastly, this is section of the track and spikes that was used on the Overseas Railroad. This is some of the quarry that supplied the fill for the railroad. When you're in the Keys, stop in and learn more and enjoy the nature trails. Tell them Nick the History Kid sent you. There was a time when you can only get to the Keys by water. That changed when Henry Flagler completed his overseas railway around 1910. This is one of the overseas railroad trestles that still exists today. Now, for my New Jersey connection. Big Pine Key once had a shark processing factory that caught and skinned sharks. The hides were salted down and sent to New Jersey to be processed into a tough leather called shagreen. We just got off that boat a week ago. This is Sloppy Joe's. If you've ever been to Key West, then you probably visited Sloppy Joe's, which has been here since 1933. Ernest Hemingway was a regular customer. I am now in Key West. This 4-mile long and 1-mile wide island is only 4.2 square miles. This is Duval Street, the island's main street. It was named after Florida's first territorial governor, who served between 1822 and 1834 as the longest serving governor in Florida's history. The construction of the Overseas Railroad was a tremendous feat of engineering during the early days of the 20th century. No single construction project before or since had done more to change life in the Florida Keys. Many of the residents of Key West were immigrants from the Bahamas known as conchs. A lot has changed since the early 1900s. Automobiles have taken the place of the railroad, and Key West is getting better and better every year. Who knows what Key West would look like now if Henry Flagler didn't have the vision to build an overseas railway, making it possible for wealthy Americans to enjoy this American paradise. This is the little White House that was used by many presidents, including John F. Kennedy, during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Much of the president's character stems from the indomitable will that sustained her in her 90s and from his abiding affection for her. Inheriting his...
This was Ernest Hemingway's house. Hemingway wrote many of his best books here until he died in 1961.
Yes. See his lines now. Okay. He was underneath. Just keep it up.
What is this?
Blue runner.
Check. Thanks.
Are they good? Just hold up, I could see it, then toss it over.
It's my wrist.
All right, well, you got a blue runner. Never heard of it.
That was a good workout, huh?
Yeah.
What size is that thing?
And then pick them up and then just throw them back.
Hold them up.
All right,
You
here.
have to get a
Let
picture.
me see.
Don't hold them over the water. He'll go in.
Hey, look at me. Back up a little. All right, cool. Blue runner. He's gonna throw them back.
This is the southern tip of Key West, just 90 miles from Cuba. Henry Flagler was 75 years old when construction of the overseas railway started, and his health was failing as the railroad neared Key West on January 22, 1912, right after his 82nd birthday. He rode the first official train into Key West. He died about 16 months later. Next time you're in Florida, you gotta visit the Florida Keys. Until next time, I'm Nick Districant. Remember my state slogan: New Jersey, from the Revolutionary War to the Jersey Shore, both history and fun waits you.